God on high, hear my prayer in my need. You have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. And the summers die one by one, how soon they fly on, and I am old and will be gone.
Here's the one person in this story that I, myself, am worried about.
So, President Biden, why are you afraid of Julian Assange?
The increasingly authoritarian Biden-Garland administration is doubling down on its crusade against our constitutionally protected rights.
There's been a war being waged against journalism and free speech.
If they succeed in this, this will be yet another nail in the coffin of democracy.
Well, today we see someone who has stood up to defend that right, who has aggressively championed that right at an extreme cost.
Julian succeeded in terrorizing Big Brother.
Julian exposed another set of wars. Basically, he exposed the so-called war on terror.
Julian Assange has paid a very, very, very high price for his lifelong determination to expose the truth.
The torture, and it's not a word I use idly, has cost the man terribly.
And he didn't bend. He will break before he does.
Julian Assange refused to do their bidding.
What Assange has been accused of is fundamentally no different from the normal interaction between whistleblowers and journalists on the National Security Beat.
Here it is. Journalism is not a crime. War crimes are crimes.
And we are telling you in no uncertain terms. You stand accused of criminality and of murdering a man that made it possible for the rest of us to know your crimes.
That is the reason that Julian Assange sits in prison today.
And the guy who revealed that drone program kills 90% of the people, guess where he is? He's in prison.
Our freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press, by continuing their vindictive, retaliatory crusade against Julian Assange.
And Julian Assange, absolutely, positively, is a journalist.
There's no fundamental difference between what Julian Assange was doing and what I was doing.
The charges against him reduced to an allegation to commit the crime of journalism in the first degree.
What he did and what WikiLeaks is journalism. Classic First Amendment freedom of the press.
And Julian, who has done nothing wrong, he has done everything that any self-respecting journalist should do.
He's won journalism awards around the world for this very work, and this is why this is why he's in a prison in London right now.
They publish it because their duty is to the public, and Julian's duty to the public has landed him in prison for already more than 3 years, and he faces 175 years.
I don't know how the man has kept going, but he has, but at some cost.
Has this been constructive? Is this a victory for us, for the state, for humanity, for our rights?
His information exposed the dishonesty surrounding the claims on Iraq. His information exposed the dishonesty of the continuing reporting of Iraq after 2003.
Mr. Bolton might in fact be prosecuted under the ICC. He was one of the chief cheerleaders of the Iraq War, which Julian then exposed through these leaks. So he has a conflict of interest here.
For the crimes you're committing all over the world against humanity, while also murdering slowly Julian Assange and other whistleblowers who are revealing your crimes.
If press freedom groups all over the world keep saying this is an assault on press freedom, maybe, I don't know, we should maybe listen to them?
Julian Assange was falsely dragged into this Russiagate affair.
And the Australian government, instead of defending their citizen, have only last year acknowledged and given him a passport.
Australia has not only done nothing, it has colluded with the United States.
What does that mean to us today, that countries cannot protect their citizens?
The extrajudicial assassination of Julian in London was discussed at the highest levels of the US government.
There has been so much deception.
This is flagrant criminality.
What we're witnessing is a murder that passes without comment.
Not just for the crime of slowly murdering Julian Assange. You're criminals, and we're going to pursue you to the end of the earth and back.
We're dealing with criminals who have instrumentalized the law.
We are trying the criminals that are killing Julian as we speak for crimes against humanity,
to politically persecute an innocent man, a journalist for doing his job.
Assange is innocent.
And it's time for us to defend his rights.
He should never have been kept in prison for bail. He should not be in prison now awaiting a trial for extradition. He should be released.
Julian Assange must be released.
He must be released immediately by the UK government.
And Julian, far from being indicted, should actually be a hero.
Julian Assange will be remembered long after many of us have faded.
He has consistently and continuously dared to speak the unspeakable in the face of opposition.
People will tell the story of Assange, the whistleblower, the publisher, who called and spoke out against killing and war.
Julian Assange is a hero. That's right, is a hero.
Bring him